But it's still like.
You get to your coach.
No, not.
Your teacher is.
Well, I mean,
That's
he's just giving them extra time. And I appreciate the fact that he's doing that. But he's supposed to be teaching PE or athletics. He doesn't have to. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's saying that, I'm not saying what he's doing is bad. I mean, it's great that, both him and her, but he's always, it's like that. We can only do, the school can only do so much. At some point, it's got to fall on not just the teachers, but the kid and the parents. You're right. We don't have the staff to babysit.
I think that's all the teachers are bad, but if you got all these kids in the class and everybody's got the same.
Well, that's what we're coaching accountable for that. I'll tell you what, my suggestion is, if the kid don't make the grade, you got to do that. No more races.
If the kid don't make the grade, you can't blame the teacher.
I think
You can blame the If he paying attention in class.
we're supposed to give them grades so they can pass.
I'll say that.
No, I think it should be in there.
We're not going to do it. If the teacher
It's a big problem.
we're not going to do it. Anybody got any more questions on situations?
Okay, we're not going to start throwing those kind of. We're not, because we're decent people. We're all better than that. I'm not overriding you. I'm just telling you, everybody needs to take a breath, because we're not that.
We are here to help each other. We need to help each other, our best, and we are here for the children. Let's focus on that. Anybody have a question about this? What question about the
We actually need reports from their administrators. I'm good. Good.
What about the motion?
I'll make a motion to take the bill.
Motion made and second. Second. Motion made and second. Motion carried. Going to the cash bill.
Alright, after that. Collected 7357715, uncollected 103,909. Interest and sinking, which pays our bond. We'll have on hand 198,776.74. We will do those for 262 for Wells Fargo payment on the bond. We'll have on that. Or your current delinquent, uncollected 49,620. We'll see if new tax statements coming in pretty soon. So we're doing pretty well. As far as money wise, we'll get more money this year. We have more kids, we've got some more things coming up. So we should be doing okay as well. As far as that goes, as far as our day-to-day operations, it still looks strong. We haven't had that yet, it's coming, but we're not there yet.
What's the insurance revenues?
Don't have anything new.
What's your name?
Nothing stays on there just in case we have to.
ISS.
Okay, we had, well, the discussion last time, remember who wanted that time in June, maybe Mr. Freeman? I'll maybe. That's sorry. To bring ISS back up here on the agenda, at one time we did not think that was the board consensus that it really wasn't doing a lot for our kids, so we took that off. In recent times, we've looked at other options. We've become very limited on the things that we can do with kids. We only have so many options, as you know. And ISS is one of those things that gives us a place to put a kid who needs a little time, a little space, to not have to send them home or pay for them to go to the VAP in Oregon, where our VAP is. The problem we have, and I'm telling you this so that you can talk about it, the problem we have is with ISS is that we haven't had a strong enough person because we're short on subs. Generally speaking, we never know from day to day how many we have available. And for us to have a strong sub that is consistent and strong and can run a good ISS program, hard to get someone. We don't have anyone in there every day, so to have one permanent, we can do permanent sub, but even that, we could just be moving around until we found them. Most of our subs are available in those days. It is doable. We have some subs I think who could run one this year that we've used. It's an option, so it does give the principals a place to one more arrow in their quiver, so to speak, to do with kids. A place to put them before you send them home. I understand that you say, hey, if they don't work, you need to send them home, and I support that. However, there are times when you just need to need them at school, because sometimes sending them home is a reward, and sometimes you need them here and working. And for the smaller infractions, and there's some kids that you can't send home for different reasons. Now, the legislation has changed just recently, and we can do an unlimited amount of days in ISS. I would never recommend that, even as lawyers. You start doing that, keep the kid there forever, they'll have a lawsuit on you. However, that has been used to, it was just so many days, but that's been lessened a little bit. I think people want to be real soft on that. The other thing is that special education children can be put in ISS just like a regular education child. There's some RD stuff that has to happen for that, but that's one of those things. And it would keep them on campus, and it would keep them working. And occasionally would not make their parents have to drive, or stay home from work or whatever. It's a fine age. Y'all talk about it and decide what you want to do. What you have to do.
I just wanted another arrow for our principals. I mean, I understand everybody has a different opinion on pops, and sometimes sending kids home is a reward to some. What's our, how many times do we send them home before they go?
Depends on just the infraction. Whatever. The base law has changed.
Is that a law? Is that a law?
Well, I mean, there are certain things that are automatic DAP.
Right, I understand that, but let's just say misbehavior in the classroom.
Just in the home every day.
Yeah.
Well, I say we need to, I would settle for the no ISS, but if we send a kid home more than 3 times, we're sending them before.
Well, go ahead.
They won't pay, they will be a certain age to go also.
We had to pass something where we had to put them in there for 8 days. The first time. We had to adopt it.
You're talking about pay.
So, now the laws have changed.
No, I just want, because here's the deal.
I guess I'm confused
Well,
in general.
I'm just talking about a disruptive kid. You can send him home an unlimited amount of time, but if he has no respect at school, he has no respect at home. So going home is not doing nothing but giving him a treat. But when you get that parent involved and they have to start driving the board every day, mom's going to start tightening up at the house. Or parents are going to tighten up at the house.
And we've used it. Some years ago.
I just wanted something to back our administration.
I mean, my thing is.
Because I grew up with disruptive kids in my class. It's very me at ADHD kid. It was hard for me to focus sometimes when, I'm not going to call names, so-and-so's driving a motorcycle on a desk. It was hard to focus at times. So, just sending that kid home, we're failing him because he ain't learning anything at the house. He's 100% getting what he wants.
I don't disagree with that. But I also, last month we found out we're at a D rating, and, we've had the ISS for years. We tried to, we discussed this teacher after teacher. I had teachers coming to me, I had kids, it didn't work. I don't care how.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. We don't have to have ISS. Let's adopt we send them home 3 times, they go somewhere else.
We got
Just to reinforce for our teachers
Pay
that
$9,000 and $45 a day for electricity. So what we're saying is the vacant law has changed. So we don't have to send them the VAP if we have ISS. Right. Okay, so one of that we don't have to send in. So if we have ISS, we don't have to first then send them to VAP. We could actually put in ISS.
Let's pay for our ISS teacher instead of paying to bring somebody else in here to help these kids. So that our coaches can focus on PE and athletics, and these kids that are graduating who can't read And these kids that are reading, that are in sixth grade, reading at a two grade level can be helped. I think we need to use our money more wisely, because as soon as it gets out that we're at a D rating, it's going to look bad on our administration and our teachers. And it's not always the teacher's fault. But, we need to help the kids we had and not just continuously keep babysitting the ones that are, yes, there are kids out there like Cody who, do have the issues that sit there and you drive a motorcycle.
That's what I was.
I'm
This kid is very functional.
Yeah, but we do have kids like that, but I think we need to concentrate on these kids that are wanting to learn and willing to learn. We need to help them. And fine, they may not get the respect from these kids at home, but that's the parents' fault. Let these parents keep coming and, like that said, let's have some sort of limit so that after we've sent you home 3 times.
I'm okay with not having the ISS thing where I send a kid to. Let me write it down.
Honestly, I would prefer, I think they would too, that we catalyze it, because it gives us another place to go, so we have to send that.
So how many kids?
Well, that's do we have just kids this year that are being disrupted, or is there everything smooth sailing as of right now?
Disciplinary, I haven't had maybe 2 write-ups since school started. Now, I go, because mine are little, and I do pull out, and I keep them in my office, or keep them with me, I call it walking the puppy, and I'll take them out and try to redirect them so they can go to that class. But I'm talking about 4, 5, and 6-year-olds that are learning.
I'm talking about the kids like.
The behaviors are a little different once they get to high school, but, really, we can say,
Yeah, it's been very quiet. I do have a few behaviors that I'm working on a solution for them, because I think I can do it through special ed.
No, I just said I'm working. The whole ISS thing was just something to back y'all and give y'all something to help. Hey, listen, if this kid's being a distraction, let's put him somewhere so these other kids aren't being.
I have a motorcycle driver, but I think he'll qualify. And he's still going to get out of into a different kind of.
My motorcycle driver.
and with hers, they can't go to the AP until they're in 6th grade.
Yeah,
So that's
so I'm just going to 6th grade. Now, I do send them home if they're aggressive to others. And I have sent some home this year, but like I said, it's the one I'm trying to get tested. So there's been other, situations with that, because he's just in the flux of not quite being tested, and he needs extra.
I guess the question is, how much would it help you to have an ISS available?
It would be necessary or is it timeout phase. You know what I mean? If I could put a kid out for a period and then see if I can work them back in, that would help me, because at my age, it's about learning how to be in the classroom and how we expect them to behave. And so a lot of times I have to drag them around with me, or we put them in a different person's classroom away from their class, but that's not.
And I was just going to add to that, if they have mommy issues, they're going to attach to you.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, well, if I have to pick class, then I'm going to hang out with her all the time.
Right, and they want to come in and check in with me.
They turn that into a true.
Yeah, I know, and we try not to go there, I try not to make it too.
Is it any way feasible we could, I said test run, do we have to implement for the whole year?
No. We would only use it when we need it.
See how it works?
Well, what I was going to suggest is that having somebody here every day, like let's say you get one write-up, like you get write-up set, so that Thursday, we can pick a teacher that we know will do good, or just ask who will want to do it. And instead of having a sub come in, you never know who you're going to get. Have a sub go that class, that teacher, sit at ISS.
We're going to come in and help the kids. My thing is, we beat the ISS force them to death over the years. And we've got to help these kids that want to learn, hire these subs that can come in and pull the kids that are having trouble reading. I mean, it's just, to me, that's, we're just paying a babysitter.
Well, that's why you don't put the stuff in ISS. Say the teacher that wants to do it, and have them go to ISS, and they have,
But then who's teaching the class?
that teacher, they full, have their all their work scheduled. If they want a Thursday, everybody comes in and wants to talk to their friends, or they're going on the weekend. Or, whatever day of the week, so we don't have to tie up a sub every day for ISS. And I mean, I'm probably sure there's probably a teacher or two that would like to go sit in ISS with a couple of kids, or just sit there all day.
Yeah, because that would give her a chance to catch up on her lesson plans or grade papers or whatever.
I think if you let them implement it and let them run with it, that's not a bad idea at all, but I think it would be nice to have it as an option. I don't think, like right now, they haven't necessarily needed that, we needed it a little bit, usually high school really hasn't needed it at this point. Could happen, might not, I don't know, but I think we'd like to have the option of it, now that we can do a little more with it.
Well, nobody's kind of using my parents that way too, so a lot of times if it's not me, a parent will take them and just get them out of the room for a little bit. So they just need to break.
Right.
Minors.
Well, and to add to what you're saying, Vicki, I mean, if that disruptive kid is in there, if we're not getting the disruptive kid out, we're not helping the 26 kids or however big the class is no more than they do with leaving the disruptive kid in there.
Well, I mean, I think we might be talking, it's different talking about a 5, 6, 7-year-old than it is a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
You know,
For
yeah,
the
I
high
mean,
school side.
yeah. I mean, the elementary kids, I think, we can all know.
And we have to be automatic with them, because if you wait, they're going to let that.
Right, yeah. But I mean, I'm talking more about, junior high and high school kids that, there's ISS, all I have to do is act up and I get a free day.
Right.
So.
Unless it's not a free day.
But that's the other past really past us.
You have to have the right person.
My ISS teacher, we had cubicles set up every 4 foot apart. And if you wasn't looking inside your cubicle.
No, that's I think that's a great idea, but that's not how it's being.
Do we have any kind of sub-training?
We have, there's no way to do it.
Like Livingston and Corbin, they say just to kind of bring everybody on the rules, and then it kind of gives you an idea of who's this person I can call out.
Our circle is so limited, and
I understand.
we don't have a lot, and the people that we use are pretty much people that we've had for a while. I think we have about 8 that we use pretty regularly.
Just to help everybody.
I know, and we do have some very good stuff, I'm not saying that we don't. God bless them, and I appreciate them coming every time, but, and then we have some that always want to do elementary, we have some that always want to do hospital, it's depends on your plan.
So we have a handbook.
Yeah, these guys.
So, I mean, as far as also, I mean, that's what y'all want to do is ask your teachers to see one of them would utilize this, one through whatever.
Where y'all want to do.
Well, I just give the teachers the option, I'd like feedback to see if it would help, be able to have another area.
Right. I would ask that if you decide that that's something that you feel comfortable with having an ISS, only because normally you would bother you just talk about it when you do it with you, but since a long time ago we dissolved ISS, I would really y'all make the motion to reinstate ISS as necessary, if you choose to do that, so that you can have it on the books, because it's on there not to,
I say, I say to get the teachers to do that.
So just, if you take no action, then survey. Okay, that's fair enough, survey your teachers, and y'all take care of that. Give them some choices.
Yeah, y'all have any ideas?
Yeah.
challenge them, how would it work best for them?
Yeah, we've done it a lot of different ways, you know, we did it one year where the teachers went, they had a period, they could, if somebody was a night test, they waited for that period, and if there wasn't anybody night test, then they got an extra component period. But we've done it that way, because I was a teacher then, whenever we did that. And it worked okay, except for, you know, some of them will let them sleep, and then you go in there and wake them up, and you do the best, you know.
You seconds in there, or
Yeah.
vocabulary words, or something.
Right.
Yeah, we need to be.
I'm not going to put a copy in the dictionary, that's what they do.
Yeah, we, yeah, right, or read the dictionary. It does not need to be fun.
No, it's not.
Is that the school board dress code?
So, since we, the way I see it, since we made the teachers, I said, you know, teachers need to dress to down there. We all choose to be on the school. So, in reflect of that, we represent the school just like the teacher group. So, at any time, we can have everybody come in here, so like teacher president.
I'll volunteer my time too.
I
I've had issues, I'm working in the garden, forget what time it is, and, you know, work up here, so I'm just, you know, I'll show up the way I show up. I make sure if I'm out at events, you know, graduation or ball games or, you know, but, I mean, if anybody shows up to the meetings, that, you know, that would be great.
I agree with you, everyone, especially since it's video, that's gonna be restored. I mean, if we set the example for community.
No, I'm pretty sure the meeting is, I don't dress to impress, I'm not here to impress anybody. I mean, I'm me, and I'm not gonna change to make somebody happy. No, we're just all saying, you know,
But I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
we all came and, you know, we came together to make a treat for teachers.
Yeah, wasn't something.
Teachers had dress code, they were pretty good ones.
Yeah, we changed it here recently.
Well, as soon as we have a written dress code for school board, I'll think about it.
That's not what we got. We vote on that?
You have to,
How does that work? We have to vote to adopt the dress code?
we have to make a vote to adopt the dress code, then you have to implement that dress code, put it out.
I mean, what are you gonna do, how are you gonna do? Mornings, do we get mornings and then kick off the board if we show up in our registry? I mean, I'm just throwing that out as an example. But, no, I mean, you know, I mean, what's the point? I mean, I guess you could vote somebody off if they.
I think it's respectful.
But what do you have to say on the dress code? Jeff, what do you have to say on the dress code?
I can talk about it. I can talk about it. I don't know, that's what we're considering.
We'll table that to the next board meeting, put it on the agenda. Mr. Jefferson, Mr. Lowe, talk to the audience. Because I know it has to be in, put it in local, if that. You know, we look at more implements, so that it has to be put in the local, and make problems, but take it back and see what it says.
I would ask you if that's something you decide, I don't know how that is implemented, I don't know if part of that implementation or anything like that. I would ask that you personally talk to Tasby, which I think
Yeah,
is
that's what I
free.
said, exactly.
Tasby, I can talk to their lawyers for free, it's not our lawyer, but they will give us advice. And I'll start with them usually before I go to
that you told y'all, having, yeah, I mean, I'm curious to find, also, you know, I mean,
It's
if
something
we don't
that,
follow the dress code, what?
it's something that the board itself about.
I mean, not, but what happens if one of us shows up in our swim trunks one day, what, get it right up?
Just want to check into.
Full board of this report.
General operating fund, the balance as of August 31st, 300, hang on. 3,611,684.27. Interest and sinking, 197,776.74. Student organization, 41,817.87. The Bergen Scholarship Fund, 32,500. Bond construction, we don't use that, but it just keeps drawing a little bit of interest, is 8,999.48. And our investment at Lone Star is 198,533.04.
Motion to accept the report.
Second.
Motion to accept, all in favor? Motion carried.